Hey friends, what's up? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. As I'm filming this video, we're ticking over into March. And in my brain, that means it's time for spring. December, January, February, winter. March 1st, spring. Yeah! I gotta tell you, this winter feels like it has lasted a millennium. Like, it's just never ending. Every day you go outside, it's cold, you look up at the sky, gray, rainy. Not even getting any snow down here. Like, it'll get below freezing for a week or longer, and you don't get any snow at all. And then, you know, it ticks over to like 36 degrees Fahrenheit, just barely above freezing, and then it starts raining. And I'm like, why? That's gonna be behind us. Because as I said, March, spring. Spring, flowers, blooming trees, green grass, and a little extra heat. So today I've got 10 fragrances that are perfect for spring. These will have you smelling amazing as it starts to heat up, and most of them have very good performance as well, so they're gonna have you smelling awesome all day. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about them. Now, I'll have these fragrances linked in the description in case you want to check them out. And it is not my official top 10 designer list for spring. That's going to be coming up here very shortly. This is more so just fragrances that I think really fit that niche aesthetic one way or another. And some of them actually are maybe a little bit more under the radar, like ones that you wouldn't immediately think of as a spring scent, but they work perfect. And also, if you shop at maxaroma.com or twistedlily.com, use the code GENTS10 for 10% off your order. Save yourself a little bit of money. And good until the end of March is Gents 2022, which will save you 10% off your order at luckyscent.com. That one obviously going to be changing as we head into April. Let's jump into it. The first fragrance, Hermès's Terre d'Hermès. This is the original Eau de Toilette. Now, a lot of people might think of Eau Très Fraîche as the go-to fragrance in this line for springtime, but that one has met an unceremonious end. Yeah, we'll just call it that. And it's a bit harder to find, unfortunately. And I think that the original Terre d'Hermès works perfectly during spring. I mean, honestly, this one is nearly a year-round fragrance, or not nearly, it is. Just during summer, you know, don't spray on as much as you would during the winter and you're good to go. It's a classic fragrance that kind of melds this earthiness that it gets from Flint and the vetiver with a freshness that it gets from the citrus off the top. And it does have just this fantastic gentlemanly quality to the scent. So during spring, as it starts to heat up, Terre d'Hermès, this stuff is gonna have you smelling awesome, modern day masterpiece. After that, an Acqua di Gio fragrance, my personal favorite, Acqua di Gio Profondo. This one I love. And if you're looking for an Acqua di Gio fragrance that still has that Acqua di Gio DNA, the Acqua di Gio style, this is the one. Fresh and aquatic with the minerality to it, a little green tinge. It has that very appealing citrus opening. This stuff will work anywhere, anytime. And this is another one that I think you really can use year round. I know a lot of people out there are gonna say, oh, Acqua di Gio, that's summertime, daytime, that's it. Don't listen to that. You can use Acqua di Gio whenever. Daytime, nighttime, any season, this stuff works. And I don't know if the video is out yet, but Acqua di Gio Profondo for 2022 was one of the best-selling men's fragrances in the country. In the top 10, if I remember correctly, right at the top 10. Number 3 is gonna be Dior Homme Sport. This basically smells like Dior Homme 2020 if you freshened it up, made it more wearable for more situations, especially as it does start to heat up a bit. And what that means is it's not your typical sport fragrance in that it doesn't just smell like, oh, it's a gym scent, it's a fresh out of the shower scent, and then that's all. No, it has a really nice wearability to it, very modern, and has great versatility. Dior Homme Sport would be just as at home in the office as it would a gym. Very appealing citrus opening to this one, some nice fresh spices and modern woods. Dior Homme Sport, a great fragrance for springtime, or once again, just about any time. Number 4 is another Dior, so we're going back to back with the Diors. It's Sauvage Eau de Toilette. So another fragrance that's very fresh, has an extremely appealing, very inviting opening that people are just drawn to. Massive compliment puller, huge performance. There's a reason that Sauvage is the best-selling men's fragrance on the market today. And while, yeah, once again, another fragrance that I think realistically you can use year-round, I do think that Sauvage is maybe a little bit better suited for spring and fall than it is right in the middle of summer, because this stuff does pack such a punch that if you go real heavy with this stuff, yeah, it might not be quite as appealing as it should be. Because this is a fragrance that packs enough of a punch that in the summertime, when it's hot outside, especially if it's very humid and you go crazy heavy with this stuff, people could start dropping like flies. Just overwhelmed by your fantastic fragrance, but maybe not in the way that you would prefer them to be overwhelmed. During spring though, Dior Sauvage still works. Is it the most unique thing out there? Absolutely not. As I said, most popular fragrance in the United States right now is Dior Sauvage. So if you're trying to find something that nobody else is wearing, something under the radar, that's not it. But if you want something that's gonna work, yeah, absolutely that will. Switch it up a little bit. Number 5, AZZARO Chrome Aqua. So another aquatic scent that some people would think of as more of a summertime fragrance, but yeah, this stuff rocks. It's one of my favorite kind of cheapies, under the radar cheapies. I know in the fragrance community, maybe you would say it's not quite under the radar, but in terms of just overall knowledge of the fragrance, like how many people out there are aware of this one and are wearing it, yeah, it's under the radar. Obviously, of the 5 we've talked about so far, Terre d'Hermès, Acqua di Gio Profondo, Dior Homme Sport, Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, this is not quite on that level as far as recognition. Has a really nice green aquatic feel to it. It's got a very appealing mint note in there, a bit of citrus as well. Chrome Aqua, a wonderful fragrance, really good casually, or once again to the office, but a little more of a playful scent. And that one also, as I've said a number of times, smells really good during the winter. Don't sleep on wearing summertime fragrances during the winter. Sometimes they will surprise you at how good they smell when it's cold. Number 6, another huge one, Eros Eau de Toilette from Versace. This one is fresh, yes, but very sweet. Sweeter, I would say, than anything else that we've talked about here so far. It has mint, just like Chrome Aqua, but this is a sweeter mint and a good amount of vanilla / tonka as it dries. You know, that vanilla kind of warmth and sweetness. It comes out here very strongly. It does have amazing performance off my skin. The stuff lasts forever. It projects like a monster. It grabs attention, gets compliments. And that is why it is such a huge seller. That's why it's so popular. But kind of like Dior Sauvage, where this one does have so much push to it. During summertime, if you go real heavy, maybe wouldn't work quite as well because it's, again, gonna be a bit aggressive. But during the spring, when it's not quite that hot yet, something like that, oh, smells awesome. Number 7, we're gonna go with an Invictus fragrance, Paco Rabanne's Invictus Legend. I have not always been the biggest fan of the Invictus line, although that has started to change with their flankers that have come out here lately. Have started to come around. Invictus Legend is closer to the original Invictus than the new things that we've gotten, Invictus Victory and Victory Elixir. Those are pretty much their own thing that don't really have much tie-in with the original Invictus at all, but Invictus Legend does. It is sweet, once again, like you would expect from an Invictus fragrance, but it has this nice freshness and spiciness to it that helps offset that sweetness a little bit. And once again, has very good performance. I find it to be more versatile for me personally than the original Invictus. And this kind of idea of fragrances is very popular right now. Something that's both fresh, but sweet at the same time. Traditionally, those type of fragrances have done the best, at least over the last couple decades, at pulling positive attention and compliments. Something that's either fresh or something that's quite sweet. And now, of course, we see lots of fragrances, like I said, that are both of those, and that's what this is. So if you're looking for something that will get the job done, get you positive attention, and last forever, Invictus Legend is worth checking out. From one legend to another, the next one is Legend Spirit from Montblanc. And Legend Spirit actually smells a bit similar to Invictus Aqua from Paco Rabanne. But Invictus Aqua has been getting more difficult to find. The price has been going up on that one. Yeah, it's not great. Or I mean to say not great that it's getting to be harder to find, not that the fragrance is not great. So Legend Spirit can get you similar to that, only for a much lower price. So with this smelling like Invictus Aqua, once again, yes, it has a little bit of that aquatic freshness to it. It is quite sweet as well, once again. For a long time, Legend Spirit was basically the go-to Mont Blanc fragrance for a lot of people out there. This was kind of an under-the-radar scent that you could pick up and wear from spring through summer into fall. Get so much use out of it, get so many compliments from the stuff, but not have to really pay much for the pleasure of doing so. So Legend Spirit, this one still works very well during the spring, right through fall, as I said. After that one, a fragrance that I myself not massively keen on. Not a huge fan when this stuff came out, but you can still find this at discounters for a pretty good price. And for spring, it's a very solid choice. And it's one that not too many people are likely to be reaching for at this point. It is Gucci Guilty's Cologne. Now, to give Gucci Guilty Cologne some credit here, this one does not smell like anything else in this list. It is its own thing. It's aromatic. It's got nice herbal facets to it. It's clean, has kind of a soapy vibe to it to an extent. Very fresh, kind of a classic smelling fragrance. You know, it's something that could appeal to a very wide age range. And at discounters, the price is not horrific. I mean, it is a Gucci, so it's not going to be marked off an astronomical amount because Gucci fragrances, even at discounters, are still decently, I don't really want to say expensive, but we'll say they hold their value more than some other brands once they hit discounters. And I do think that looking back on this now, it still stands, like I said, as its own thing, and I have to give it credit for that. And against a sea of fragrances that are sweet on sweet on sweet on sweet on sweet, this stands out even more. And so I may revisit this one a little bit this spring. I don't think it's gonna be in my top 10 or anything like that, my personal top 10, but you know, we'll give it some more wears and see how it does. The reason I include it in this list is I do think it's perfect for spring and it could work so well for so many people that do want a bit of a change of pace. Last one, it's an obvious one, Chanel's Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. This one, once again, a year-round fragrance, but it works amazingly well during the spring. This is, I would say, the most versatile of the Bleu de Chanel line. I mean, this stuff, man, you can't find a situation this is not gonna work in. Fresh, woody, uplifting, a little bit invigorating in the opening. That citrus combination off the top here, once again, just ropes you in. And as it dries down, that incense comes out, gives it a very, very masculine and appealing scent profile. Versatility unmatched with this stuff. So Bleu de Chanel, even though that is like Dior Sauvage, basically everywhere, you know, it is ubiquitous to men's fragrances at this point. Seems like half the people out there that have any kind of collection have both of those, at least, you know, one from each line. But there is a reason for that, and it's because they just work. You know, people love them. It's like pizza. You know, pizza is everywhere. The reason it's everywhere is because people love it. That is maybe not the best analogy of all time, but we're gonna roll with it. So there we go, guys. 10 fragrances, perfect for spring. All of these have great usability. They're not one-trick ponies. You can get so much use out of each one of these. And for the most part, I think each of these also is a very solid attention grabber. Maybe some more than others, but still, each one of these deserves a spot. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.